Mr. Witty, tell me a little bit about what you learned last summer when you worked for Clear Defense Pest.
Well, when I worked for Clear Defense Pest Control, I learned to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, knowing how to talk to anybody in any given situation, not taking no for an answer. Persistence is definitely a big thing I learned.
So why was this valuable to you?
Well, when you're going and selling with people, they don't want you there in the first place.
First, describe what you did.
Well, I went door-to-door sales, selling packages for pest control to residential areas and business. And when we went in, a lot of times we were very unwelcomed.
Why?
People don't like you on the front door. They immediately are just sketched out, especially today's age. They don't believe in the door-to-door salesman. People don't want to be sold to. They want to be given a product they feel like they need, and they came to the realization to it. So they all treated us kind of like a Jehovah's Witness and just quickly tried to get us out of the area as quickly as possible.
So when you started, how did that feel?
Well, it doesn't matter how I feel.
Well, I know. But how did it make you feel?
Without being in your class first, one, I would have just shut down probably. But before, it was not fun. It was very grueling for every day to day. Going in, they don't want you here, they don't want to talk to you, and you just got to keep pushing till finally they gave you a smile and it was okay.
Now, so describe what pushing meant. What did you do to cause them to want to continue to talk to you even though they didn't want to talk to a Jehovah's Witness?
I just tried to build trust first thing. Just go in, not even talk about pest control for the most part. Just say, we're here because we're trying to make your family safer. Whatever kind of thing I felt like, that would spark their interest. I tried to lean out with that. Then they started asking me questions rather than me just spouting off to them.
So when you started with a benefit statement to them, that you were there for some purpose that would benefit them, that opened them up.
Immediately. And then some were still kind of sketched out, and then if you had some of their neighbors that had signed on or around with them, they felt safer going with you, and it's amazing how many credit card numbers you can get.
So how much time did you spend in Raleigh?
About 3.5 months.
3.5 months.
Mm-hmm.
So what was the most challenging thing for you to surmount?
Being humbled at the very beginning. I thought going into it, this would be easy. Coming from phone to phone, doing it in person, I thought it would be so much easier. So the fact is, I know most of the ones I probably couldn't get at the time, if they had known our name, or we had probably being in an unnamed company, going in and having to fully sell them on the benefit rather than having a trust of, oh, they're with a Terminex or some national brand. That was probably the most challenging.
And you talked about how you overcame it. How long did it take you before you got it?
Slowly, probably 2 weeks, and I was upset with that time period. I thought giving me a couple days I could get it. That didn't happen.
So after 2 weeks, you started to get it. And then talk about the process of then learning and applying and being effective.
Well, at the very beginning, product knowledge is everything. And that was another big hurdle. Kind of the selling process, we had kind of known, one, you had to put in more practice, but product knowledge was huge. So once that product knowledge got higher and more about your, other companies, then it became easier. You quit worrying about if you knew this, and you kept looking nervous, trying to think back and what do we do? And then they quit looking at you. Well, if you don't know, why should I care? So after that, you start
confidence. It improved your confidence the more you learned the product.
Right, and then you keep going through, and then it just becomes little tricks. You learn how you see people as disc, and you keep relating and relating. Finally, you quit thinking about it, and you're just acting, and that's probably what you get towards the end.
So at the end, you were focused entirely on them and listening to their responses, and because you had enough product knowledge and enough confidence, you just engaged with them.
Right. And it becomes a way you think after the fact, because you did it so many days. You know, you're working 10, 12-hour days, 6 days a week. Soon that's all you think about.
So now that you've done that, how do you think this is going to help you going forward?
Well, even in day-to-day communication, when I want something from people, not really, you know, misleading them or trying to control them, but rather than, I know kind of how to speak with people, I always lead out with what I think they're benefiting. So don't you think we should do this? And they think about it and, yeah, we'll do it. I get my way a lot of times. That's a good thing. But only also in some of my job interviews I've been having confidence to say, you know, I can get paid this, or I can do what you're saying because I've done this, that, and the other, and got this much money for these companies. And that was one thing that really helped.
So, how much did you make? Talk about that experience.
Well, it wasn't what my goal was, which my goal was $20,000. But that was a big, hefty goal, I was told. But I did come around the $7,000 range,
Mm-hmm.
and the chance to go onto a free cruise at New Year's Eve. And we also, at the end, we had bonuses throughout, so I was racking in a good amount of money during the summer.
So total, you think you made?
If you want to count the cruise...
Are you going on the cruise?
Probably not.
Ah!
AIG, but...
What's that?
Possibly because of another company working at the end. Because I'm going to graduate and then just start work. If everything goes well, but...
Oh, okay. So you're going to go to work for a company which precludes you from going on the cruise.
Pretty much.
So working for the company is better than going on the cruise.
For me.
Oh man, you graduated.
I need that money.
Thank you, Mr. Witty.